In studio now is Mary-Margaret Zehr. She's a superintendent of the Oneida City School District. And Mary-Margaret, is that proper?
Yes.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Are you a Bills fan?
No, my family's a Giants fan.
Giants
Nice.
fan.
It's a rough year, but that's okay.
Just a little bit.
Well, Eli was back yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. That's about all we need to talk about, though. Okay, so you guys have a vote coming up here this week, tomorrow, actually.
Yes.
And it's a special vote. You want to get the word out to people in the city of Oneida.
Yes, the vote is coming up tomorrow from noon till 9. Sorry, I have a cold. If you voters are welcome to come out and vote yay or nay on the sale of Oneida Castle. The building's been vacant for several years, about 6 or 7 years. We closed it in 2011 with the economic downturn.
So so correct me if I'm wrong, for taxpayers, the sale of this building is a good thing.
Yes. The building will go back on the tax rolls, which should help out taxpayers, and it'll help the budget for the school district. We've been paying about $40,000 a year to maintain the building. And I'm new to the district. This happened long before I got on the scene. But I think school districts across the state felt the pains of the economic downturn, had to do a lot of drastic things.
Where'd you come from, by the way?
Watertown.
Oh, from Watertown. So you're well familiar with what we went through with the governor a few years back, and the equity,
Yes.
the aid to the schools, and the tax cap, and all of this stuff that really presents difficulties for school districts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a definite challenge. And I think, the reason why we're looking to move this building forward, we've tried reaching out to a lot of different agencies, from our local libraries to Mohawk Valley Community College, trying to find an occupant for the building. And we've been lucky enough to have just a private investor come forward and say, we're interested in buying it. Being a small city school district, we do have to go to vote to the public, where if we were a central school district, we would not have to vote to sell the building. Just a little bit different with our status.
Right. Smallest city, is it the smallest city in New York State?
No,
it's close.
I think our neighbor might be one of the smallest.
Cheryl.
Cheryl, right. So that is interesting because the rules with city school districts have changed over the years. It used to be you didn't even have a board of education, right?
I believe so.
But today that has changed. But you're still restricted differently than central school districts.
Absolutely.
All right. I wanted to ask. So you obviously would like people to come out tomorrow and vote for this. This is a good thing for the district.
We think it's a good thing for the district. I think it'll help the tax base as well as help program within the district.
And can you tell us who the developer is? Or
Yeah,
is
it's Mead Construction out of Oneida, New York. They're located just between Oneida and Sherrill. They've done a lot of development in the area. They're looking to do half of the building into senior housing and the other half into an office / some storage for their equipment.
But I got to tell you, this senior housing, it's popping up all over the place.
There's a need for it, too.
We have we knew this was coming 20 years ago. They kept saying, oh, this area is going to get older, and the baby boomers are going to get older. We're going to need housing. And you're seeing these places. A lot of schools have been turned into to homes for the elderly, or even you're smiling. Is there people are getting older around here. This is what happens. I want to ask you, if I could, just briefly, we're seeing a lot of these cases. There's a little kid out today, I don't know if you saw it, that was being bullied at school. The video went viral. There's a story down in the Central Valley School District about bullying. It's a challenge. Why is it so? I mean, kids have been bullied for years. Why is it such a big deal today? Is it we just don't tolerate it anymore?
I think part of it is we don't tolerate it. And I think in general, our electronic culture, everyone has their iPhones out here, their phones out in the room. That makes it that much more difficult for a kid where, back in the day, we'd wait for, someone to write it in a note
Right.
or someone to say it in passing in the halls. And now it happens, at all hours of the night through apps that you can't take back what you've said. It goes viral.
Yeah. There's a bullying of teachers, too. I didn't realize it, but there's an app out there that kids, I just discovered this, that the kids actually rate the teachers. So as the kids go through, let's say a junior, this year the juniors, when they get done with Mrs. So-and-so in math, they go on and they rate her. They'll talk about homework, it talks about testing and all of that. And then incoming students the next year will check to see where the teacher is graded. Yeah.
That's interesting.
This is
because
a crazy world we're living in right now.
when I was in college,
There's one for superintendents, too. Be careful.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
When I was in college, they had one, Rate Your Professor. And
that's what this is.
Yeah.
And they're using it. High school kids are using
now
it.
the high school kids don't have a choice of who they're going to get. But with the Rate Your Professor, you
can
say,
pick and choose.
I'm not going to take a class with that person.
You'd be surprised. High school kids can be in that
Pull some
situation where
strings.
there's not even you wouldn't want to hear that, right? Pulling the strings, but they can
Right.
elect to take maybe a certain course or a certain elective, but maybe not take that elective because they hear the teacher is just unbearable. I overheard this conversation, so I'm telling you, it's real. All right, Mary-Margaret Zehr, Superintendent, Oneida City School District. The vote is tomorrow. Is it noon to what's
Noon
the
to
time?
9.
Noon till 9.
It's at the high school and Durhamville Elementary. If you live above the thruway, you go to Durhamville, and if you live below the thruway, you go to the high school. So please come out and vote.
Word is we could be looking at some inclement weather. What happens? Still goes forward?
Still goes forward.
No matter what.
Yep.
Okay.
Nothing
All right.
like up north, though, right?
Well, I got to tell you, nothing like up north, and nothing like what they dealt with in Buffalo. And the worry is when you get a game like that in Buffalo, I'm going to make a comparison. The worry is you can't go to your normal game plan, and anything can happen. Anybody could win on a day like that. Weather can scare you, too, when it comes to a vote.
Absolutely.
So get out and vote no matter what.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Mary-Margaret Zehr, Superintendent, Oneida City School District. Quick break. We'll come right back.